Hello and welcome back to Legend Lake in Planet Coaster 2. Now this is episode 3 of my full park series. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, then there is a playlist and I'll link that in the top right now. But if you have, welcome back. This is what we did in the last 2 episodes. The entrance area with our first coaster, our wave swinger, our restaurant, and obviously the main entrance and car parks and stuff like that. So that is the first area complete, and as I said in the last episode, we are moving on to a new area today, and that new area is going to be the first legend or the first mythology in Legend Lake, and that is the Viking or Norse mythology themed area, which is obviously a theme in Planet Coaster 2, unlike there isn't a library theme in Planet Coaster 2, but there is a Viking theme, which means that making this area is going to be a little bit easier than pulling this together because there's a lot of pieces already in game. So now it's time for the big reveal. What are we going to be working on in this episode? Here it is. So this is the entrance area into Asgard, the Viking themed area in Legend Lake. Now first let's address the elephant in the room. We have a hyper coaster over here, a B&M hyper coaster, and yes, that is going to be probably the main focal point of the whole of the Viking area. I mean, the rest of the Viking area is going to take up this plot of land here, so wherever you are in it, you're probably going to be able to see the B&M hypercoaster, which I've called Sleipnir, which is the name of Odin's horse, from all angles. So let's take a look at what we've got in the first part of the Viking themed area. So of course, if you know Norse mythology, to pass into Asgard you have to go over the Bifrost, which is the rainbow bridge, which I have built here, which goes over a little river coming off from the lake. We've got a waterfall that feeds into it, and when you do, you go under this entrance arch. And the idea I've had with this entrance arch is that basically every single area is going to have an entrance into it, kind of like this, where I'm going to use this same piece from the mythology set, which, you know, I'm going for kind of like an epic universe style thing with the portals. Not completely stealing it, but it's quite similar, and there's going to be one of these for every area, or 2 depending on how many entrances there are into the area. And then immediately when you walk in on the right, you have got the entrance to the pair of twin drop towers. Now I'm assuming this would be a popular park, so I've put in 2 for throughput, and these are Hugin and Munin, which are the name of Odin's ravens. So I thought it would be cool if these were in like a similar area to the hypercoaster, because obviously we've got Sleipnir, Odin's horse, and Odin's ravens here on the right. So when you're walking in, this is kind of like, these are Odin's pets in this area. And there is puke on the floor as well. So yes, I've got the 2 queue lines. There's going to be 1 entrance for them, but 2 queue lines all linking up. And then over here, we've just got a little bit of a grab and go unit with some seating, which looks out over the water. Now there is going to be an actual restaurant in this area, but this isn't it. This is just a little place to grab some food. Now, time for the main event. So over here, this is Sleipnir, the B&M hypercoaster. So we're going to have the name of the ride here, kind of like how you see in American parks, but instead of like a Six Flags park, it's going to be actually themed. We're going to have the writing here, the entrance here, the fast pass entrance as well. And of course, the queue line kind of snakes around. It's got a big cattle pen here, but that would be more extended queue line, so they'd be able to kind of shut this off if it's not that busy. You come round and you've got another big cattle pen up here. Now in terms of the ride's actual layout, you come out of the station, go down a little dip, up the lift hill, which I have custom supported. The rest of the layout isn't custom supported, just the lift hill and the drop bar. But yeah, when I get onto that bit, I will custom support that. But yeah, You climb up the lift hill, and I have got speakers going up the lift hill. So if you've been on Hyperia, then you'll know that has speakers going up the lift hill, which I think really adds to like the suspense and ambience as you're going up. And also, if I wait for the train to get to the top, I have got a little sound effect which plays as you go down the drop. So yeah, then you go down the drop. It's very much on the threshold of being a hypercoaster. I think it's around the 200 foot, 201 foot mark. But you go down, twist to the right, up into a big old camelback, another big old camelback, a figure of 8 turnaround, which was very difficult to profile. It's still quite rough because the smoothing tool really doesn't like it. It keeps saying that it goes against the track limits, which is quite annoying. But yeah, you come down from the turnaround over another camelback, into a left-hand turn, and then into a mid-course brake run, obviously for throughput, off a drop, into another camelback, which threads through the custom supports. I have checked the clearances, especially on this one, it gets very close, but it is fine. Into an upwards helix around the cattle pen, dropping down into the brake run here. Now, in this episode, we're going to be focusing on this area, the 2 drop towers, the little eatery, the kind of the queue line and the station for the hypercoaster, and the maintenance area here with the transfer track, 3 tracks for 3 trains. But we're not going to be doing really anything in this area because obviously this is where the rest of the themed area is going to be, where there's going to be more rides. So I think I should probably leave this until I've done that. So all of this I'm going to leave for now. It's just going to be this area that we are going to be working in today. And I am very, very excited. Haven't really used the Viking theme at all in Planet Coaster 2 yet. I mean, I've done this. But it's a really, really good theme, lots of pieces. And I'm really excited to pull it together. That being said, see you in the next update. Well, I think that I am now halfway through after working on this for quite a while. I've made pretty much all the shells of the buildings and made a start on some of the theming. So I'm really starting to see how this area is coming together. So let's take a look at it. So starting down here at the Rainbow Bridge, that was done in the last update. But moving on to the 2 drop towers over here, HUGE and Munin, I've done the entrance sign, and I'm really, really happy with this entrance sign. I think it fits the theme really well, and obviously because HUGE and Munin are Odin's ravens, we've got the 2 wings on either side, and the 2 entrances to the 2 sides of the queue lines. And obviously I've not really done any work on the queue lines over here, as you could see. There's not really any fencing done yet. But on the actual drop towers themselves, I have done quite a bit of work. So firstly, I have done these rotating ravens at the top, which I think look very cool, especially from down below, and you can't really see the sticks. Well, you can, but they're not that visible. And I think it's just a really, really cool effect to add, because obviously it's themed to HUGE and Munin, and therefore having HUGE and Munin circling over the top is very cool to see. And then I've also started work a bit on the ride pad. I've done some baggage bins and some of the fencing around as well. And then over here, this is new since the last update. I've added in a little toilet block. Obviously the building on the outside is very unfinished, but this is just an idea. It's got a little chimney. I was thinking maybe it could be like a little, I don't know, blacksmith building or something. It kind of looks like that on the outside, but obviously on the inside, it's just toilets, which I will kit out on the inside as well. Coming on over to the little grab and go units we have. We've got the second entrance to the toilet here. And I've just done a little bit of stuff on the building. I've added these, but really there's not much going on here. There'll be a little bit more detail, but these were never planned to be that detailed. Just a little place to grab some food. Coming up to the main event though, we have Sleipnir, the hypercoaster. So, like you see in a lot of American parks, or also I think they've got a big sign like this at Wallaby, Belgium as well, for Goliath. So yeah, we've got a big kind of rock sign, and I'm thinking of having a statue of Sleipnir on here, but I don't really know how. I mean, I'm not very good at building things out of art pieces like other people are, so I don't know how I'll be able to put a horse up on here, especially an 8-legged one. But I'll try and work something out for that. And then obviously the entrance here, you don't need to say the name of the ride because it was already specified down here. But we've got the main entrance and the fast pass, and I've just thrown together a little entrance that could change, but I do quite like it. We've got the 2 horse heads of Sleipnir on there. And then I've also started to do the fencing for the queue line. As you can see, I've not completely finished it, but in places I have done some of the fencing, and of course the kind of don't die fencing around here. In terms of this part of the queue line, I have added like a canvas cover over it, over this cattle pen. This part of the queue line would only be open when the ride's got a very long queue line. Likewise with this bit over here, they'd be able to kind of rotate these fences to guide you around there rather than having to go all the way into this kind of extended queue line bit. Kind of like what you see on the Ride to Happiness. That's what springs to mind for me. I remember just being able to cut through here, and there was a bit of extended queue line out there on the Ride to Happiness. That's what springs to mind for me. But anyway, after you come around this little section, I've got a bit of indoor queue line here. Obviously, there's nothing's gone on in here. And likewise with the station, nothing much has gone on with her, apart from the fact that I have created a little design for the tray. Now, it's not that detailed because I don't think it would be in real life. But yeah, we've just got the shields along the side, and just a bit of a wood effect on there as well. And then we've got these arches. It's quite an open station. I think it would be. With hypercoasters, they don't normally have that much theming, and since we're literally at the entrance to the area, I kind of want to transition a bit into the more highly themed parts, which are going to come up more around here. So this is the station from the outside. Obviously no detail has gone in at all yet, but it's just getting a look at kind of like the shape of it. And then down here, we've got a little ride photo booth, which I will add the ride photo units to when they come in the next update. And if we come around here, down this staff path, here we have the maintenance area. Not fully fleshed out yet as well, obviously. The maintenance shed has been fully themed in all places where guests can see it, but on this side, it's just a warehouse. But yeah, I've got a staff building, and then this is the inside of the building right here. No details gone in yet. But that will look really nice and realistic, I think, when it's done. And then that is pretty much what we have going on here halfway through the build. I mean, I really like it. I think there are some bits that I think can be improved, but I think those will be improved with more detail coming later on. I'm noticing now I probably need to fix up this bit of water here and stuff. I think I was planning on having a waterfall coming down here as well. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to bring this all together because I really, really do like all the Viking pieces, and I've been itching to use them for actual theming. So that's why I've kind of snuck in a bit here early. But yeah, I will see you in the next update when this little area is finished. Well, the little area to begin the work on the Viking area is finally complete. And here it is in action. Everything blends really well, really nicely together. And I am actually really, really happy with how this came out. I think it's probably on par with this area and how much I like it. So let's go into first person as we do, and explore this area from the ground. So first, let's pass over the Bifrost, which I talked about earlier. under the entrance arch into Asgard. Since the new update, they've actually added some new Viking pieces, like this hammer from the Master, which I thought was really cool, and I've used a couple other new pieces from update 6 in this build. So then immediately when you walk in, there is a queue time board with the queue times of the rides in the area. Obviously I'll add to that as we go on. And then just a few little Viking bits around here. Like I said in the last episode, I really like just adding little things around it makes a build feel more alive to me when there's just a few little things dotted around really randomly. So passing under the archway for HUGE and Wodan, just taking a little look down here. I fully detailed the queue line with little bits and bobs. Fully done this with the fencing and the stone beneath. There's a lot of people queuing for this because the throughput isn't the best, even though there are 2 of them. And then, you know, just a few bits around here. And then also, I've added these kind of wooden structures around it, with these pointy sticks on top and the little bird banners, because obviously it's HUGE and Wodan. So yeah, that makes it feel a lot more imposing, I would say. Feels a lot more closed in as well. And then I've also added, you know, just a little hat up there. And then when you come down the exit pathway, you've got the toilets right here, which I've fully detailed, and as I said, I've made them look like a little blacksmith. So we've got like that going on in here, that in here, and then around on this side we've got kind of all the blacksmithy kind of stuff going on around there. And then in the little eatery over here, as I said, I didn't want to make this building too complicated, but I've got kind of the big windows, some little designs on the top, the drinks sign on this side, and the food sign on this side, some little dragon heads, and just a lot of just Viking clutter, if you will, just to make it feel very nice and themed. Excuse the blank area over here. There is going to be something coming in there in a future episode, not the next episode, but the episode after that. There'll be something coming in that space. So remember, any blank space in this park is just where something's going to go in the future, because obviously we're still developing, we're still building this park. And we've got the Sleipnir sign over here, as you may notice. No horse, I couldn't do it. So I've just got this big blank sign up here, which is fine. It's still very cool, very imposing, makes the ride feel very important. Obviously, as you look up there, it is very tall and important. So you come around here, all of this detailed, the fences all around, the foliage, the little things. So let's come under the main entrance sign here. Of course, the station building has all been fully detailed. I've got these on the side, some foliage kind of growing up to make it seem like bedded in and old. Obviously, the little motifs, the dragons up there sticking their heads out, all very, very nice. Just a few more little details all around here. A view from the front of the station building, you can kind of get a sneak peek as to what I've done on the inside there. Coming round, and this queue line is probably my favourite bit of the whole ride so far. I mean, there's not really much to see over there, but I really like how, I don't know, how real it feels. You've got the coaster track going ahead, and then you've just got all these little bits all around. I've used these statues quite a lot throughout the area already. Probably by the time we finish the Viking area, there's probably going to be a bunch of those statues. And then not much changes happen here in the extended queue line, so let's just come around from there. We're on the final stretch coming up. Another one of those new pieces from the new update. Just a couple things down there. And then a very mini Viking boat down here. There's a bigger one, which you probably saw over there. This is like a mini version, just as a piece of queue scenery. Up there, another view of the station building and the indoor queue line building. All these spikes sticking out of the ground. There's not really any story, any particular story to this ride. I've more just kind of littered stuff around that looks cool. And it works because a lot of parks don't really have stories for their rides, or if they do, they're very loose stories. Like this is Odin's horse, but there's not really any progression of the story to it. A little view there of the maintenance building from the side. I like how it hardly even looks like a maintenance building. It just looks like another building in the area until you come around and see the transfer track. Coming around here, there you go. Just a few more Viking things. I really like this little pocket of queue line here. In fact, I said it would be extended queue line in the last update, but I think I've changed my mind. I like this bit of queue line so much and the way it's themed that I think this would be the main queue line. We've got a big angry Sleipnir up there. Bit of a spilt carriage. Some more of those little Viking guys down there. Yeah, it's just a nice shaded bit of queue line with the trees and stuff. And then coming up the side of the building, can you imagine thinking you were at the end of the queue line and then coming in here, you've still got all of this to get through. But it is nice and shaded in here, of course, with the chandeliers, very similar to the chandeliers that I used in the last episode. If you haven't already seen that, don't forget to check it out. But yeah, just very nice, very warm in here, which is a bit of a difference. It's a bit more cold in the actual station building itself, which you'll see as we come in. Of course, got the row numbers up here. And then in the station itself, there's just all the Viking motifs everywhere. These pillars. You've got the train there, the little operator's cabin, the windows, the hanging banners. It all feels very Wodan at Europa Park. That was a big inspiration for this station to me. Wodan at Europa Park. Right. So I think it is prime time to take a ride on this now. There we go. If I can get it at the right angle. There we go. So let me speed it up. This is your view as you're waiting to be dispatched. Oh, there we go. Coming up. And remember, none of this layout is going to be themed at all at this point. If you want to see a fully themed POV of this ride, you're going to have to wait to the grand tour at the end of the series, which is going to be in God knows how long. But yeah, obviously, all the theming's going to come through when we do those areas nearer to the rest of the coaster. So reaching the top of the lift hill now, you're going to hear that sound effect, and then we're going to drop. Into the brake run there, and then we're going to slowly, so I'm going to speed it up. We're going to come through all the way around back into the station. Another look around at the station building, and we are on our way out. So you come down here, and that is the entrance. Just quick detour to the staff area around here. So yeah, this is a nice look at the transfer track, and this part, this side of the building is still themed. That building is not, but here we are, literally right next to the entrance. Coming all the way back round again now, chasing the train. We've got the ride photo unit here. I mean, at the time of the time of recording, this update dropped yesterday. I love this feature. I think it's incredible. Yeah, just the fact that they update as the train goes around, it's just, I think it's amazing. Hats off to Frontier with that one. But yeah, just a very simply themed ride photo unit there. And we are back where we began. So if I quickly come out of first person mode, there's a few more things to show you. Namely the custom supports. So last time it was just these. Now I've done the whole layout, so it might not look like it, but all of these airtime hills, they all have custom supports. I've custom supported the figure of 8 or the ampersand turn based on Shambhala's turnaround. That's what I took inspiration for the custom supporting for this from, and again, all the clearances are fully checked, it's fine. So yes, that is yet another little area in this park complete, and this just makes me more excited for the next episode, because I've loved working with this Viking theming, and of course we still have this whole Viking area left to do, but we're not actually working in this area in the next episode. We're still doing part of the Viking area, but this time it's going to be in this area, and we are going to be building a dark ride, which I am so excited for. But to see that, you're going to have to subscribe, turn on notifications, like the video, all of that jazz. And with all of that said, take care and goodbye.